Yet another week has passed and the Indian indices have posted a negative weekly closing, which has brought about a frown on everyone's face. What is going to happen next? Is the fall over? Will the indices start inching higher again? Which sectors look good? Some highly rewarding stock setups. What about the dollar index in USDINR? In this video, I'm going to answer all these questions. So stay tuned till the end of the video to find out, and make sure to hit that like and subscribe button so that you never miss an update. So without any further ado, let's quickly get into the video. Starting with the benchmark index, Nifty 50. On the weekly time frame, Nifty 50 has reversed from close to the harmonic potential reversal zone with a buffer of few points. Since then, it has been trading in a downward sloping parallel channel, and it is also placed below the key averages. If we look at the daily time frame, we can see that the index is trading more or less within the range of this inside bar. Initially, the range was broken out on the upside, but here the prices could not sustain at the higher levels, also trapping the buyers, and the index tumbled down and broke the low of the range where the sellers were trapped, or we can even say that the weak hands were shaken out. Now once again the index is trading right at this particular point, and it is also a potential reversal zone at the levels of 17,364 and 17,171. So I'm expecting some relief from this wide potential reversal zone in the index, and an additional confirmation to that would be breaking the high of 17,451. So the bottom line is that a good up move can be expected in the index as long as it holds this downward parallel channel and also this wide potential reversal zone. Now let's move to Bank Nifty. Here on the daily chart of Bank Nifty, we have a harmonic setup which is valid as long as Bank Nifty is above point C, which is at 39,600. So even if Bank Nifty takes a dive on the downside from here, 40,000 would act as a strong support level for the index to make an attempt to push the prices on the higher side towards 42,295. So this is what I'm expecting in the index, and the invalidation level for the same would be 39,600. Now on the other hand, what if this gets invalidated? Then we can keep an open target of 39,089, which to me can be termed as a shakeout as well, where the bears may be trapped and then the index can start its move on the upside. So to reiterate, even if Bank Nifty does take out this level of 39,600, the maximum downside that I would be looking at is 39,089, after which the index can see some respite and might start moving on the higher side. If I look at the chart of Kotak Mahindra Bank, it is trading within a 35-point range potential reversal zone, which simply means that either it may spend some time here or it may start a move on the upside towards the previous highs. Now if I also take a look at HDFC Bank, it's quite stable, trading near the support level, and if it breaks down the same, I'd be expecting only a limited downside towards 1540 levels, which you can see is a strong demand considering the gap and the previous highs as well, and we can see that the price can start picking up from here. Now as far as ICICI Bank is concerned, it's also trading right at the support with a hammer candlestick formation, which holds relevance at this point as it simply means that the prices did recover towards the end of the day. Now only considering a possibility that if the stock does break this particular support level, a maximum downside of 805 or this particular pivot placed at 777 can be seen in this counter. Now another one from the banking space is State Bank of India, which reversed from the level of 506 and has continued to move in somewhat a higher high and higher low kind of a structure, which also looks quite stable, and the structure looks intact as of now, and the nearest support for this as well is placed at 542 and 523 respectively for a bounce back. As we are discussing a few probable stock setups, it looks like one low risk setup is brewing up in the pharma space in Sun Pharma. So first of all, Sun Pharma reversed from the potential reversal zone of 1076 levels, and it is almost trading close to the pivot at 951.95. Now the interesting thing about this particular setup is the low risk and high reward, which I'm outlining right here. As you can see, even if I consider a target of 980 to 1000, which is quite achievable here with a very low or narrow risk. Let's also take a look at the small cap and mid cap indices, and thereafter we shall move to the most interesting question. So here in the small cap index, it is quite stable and it is rightly placed above the pivot B, which is at 8874 levels, and here we can expect a probable target of 9797 and at a later stage 10,270, provided that the small cap index continues to hold on above this pivot of 8,870. 24. If things do go south and it does tumble down below the same, we shall review it then and there at a later stage. In the mid-cap index, we can see that it is holding on to the support level and we are not seeing any major or aggressive breakdown in the same. It is only the benchmark indices which have cracked on the lower end. So in this particular chart of mid-cap as well, it has taken support at this particular zone a couple of times, and over here as well it has formed a hammer sort of a formation, which is hinting that it may start moving on the upside itself, and the limited downside is towards this support zone only. Now let's come to the most asked question of these days. Which sector looks good? Out of the thematic and sectoral indices, one that pops up is the Nifty PSC, which you can see on the monthly time frame is close to breaking out of the all-time high level at 4,687 levels. And on the daily chart, we can see that despite the sell-off in the markets, it is the one sector which has closed in green. Also, let's take a look over here. It has already given a breakout above this particular supply and has almost tested it once again, which makes it a breakout plus retest kind of a setup. Let's also discuss a few components of the Nifty PSC index. So starting with REC Limited. One thing to note here is that the market never moves in a straight line. It moves in zigzags or higher highs and higher lows or lower highs and lower lows depending upon the trend. Now in this chart of REC Limited, we can see that the stock has moved aggressively on the upside, so a cool off here is not unusual. So after having reversed from the potential reversal zone, we can expect it to test the levels of about 116 to 117, where a low risk entry can be looked at, because on the higher side, this is what the structure looks like, which might play out and the stock may test the levels of about 150 to 154. So another one is PFC, where a similar kind of setup is playing out like REC. So you can see that after a parabolic move on the upside, the stock has taken a pause, and if it retraces a bit deep towards this particular band, the chances of a low risk long trade can open up. Now one more sector which might start giving good opportunities is the Nifty IT. So though we can see over here that the structural higher highs and higher low is intact in the Nifty IT, but it is below the moving averages, so one can sit out and wait for it to reclaim the level of about 29,608, which is the lower band, above which one can expect some positive shift or push in the Nifty IT. All in all, there's not much change in the structure as of now. Now towards the end, let's take a look at everyone's favorite, the dollar index in the weekly time frame. So here in the weekly time frame, we can clearly see that this counter move on the upside looks complete as of now, and the dollar index may start a fresh leg on the downside in line with USDINR. So let's also take a look at that. So on this chart, USDINR is in a consolidation phase and it has reversed from this potential reversal zone close to 2 times now, and I'm expecting a downside target of about 81.1265 in this counter. Also, for those of you who might have missed out the shorting opportunity right here at the initial potential reversal zone or the upper band of the consolidation, another low risk entry can be taken here with discretion for the target that was mentioned earlier, that happens to be 81.1265. So on that note, it's Gurleen signing off. Until we meet again, have a good time.